Okay, hello. This is Carrie with Lemia Fox Jewelry and Art, and I am so excited to get started on the tutorial for making my mini album. I keep on calling it an album, my mini journal. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the things that I'm using in this project. So, first of all, here's an example of the mini journal that I'm making. And I'm doing a tutorial on making one that we voted on. Let's talk about what I'm using. First of all, I'm using these little fabric samples that I got from a custom furniture store. They had these fabric samples. This fabric sample measures 4 inches wide by 11 to 11.5 inches long. They came on they were all super stapled together, and I took the time to just slice down using my rotary cutter, just slice it off. That's how I did it. So we're using one of these for the base of the project, and I'm also using these little these pieces of paper. They measure 3.5 by 12 inches long, and so I have a bunch of these because I had cut them out to use on a project I had for a few years ago. I know that's terrible. So this is just a decorative paper, but that's what I'm using. So I'm pretty much just using what I have. And so it's 3.5 inches by 12. So it's a 12 by 12 pad cut down to 3.5 inches wide. Okay. The other thing, of course, I'm using some fabric scraps, and you're especially going to need some sort of either fabric scrap or seam binding that is going to be a longer piece so that you can use it to wrap around and tie. So that's an important thing. And this is just some scrap jean material and some little pieces. So I'm having some problems. My camera is cut out, and so I'm going to go really fast. So these various pieces of lace, I've got these various pieces of lace. Now I'm going to set these guys aside. Another thing that I'm using that you will need is some eyelets and a good eyelet setter. That's really important for this project, as you will see. The front cover, that's kind of how we have the closure. I'm also using one 12 by 12 inch piece of again, it's just regular decorative scrapbooking paper. Some bits and pieces of some craft cardstock, whatever you have. And of course, you will be needing some sort of various papers that you can put into your journal as pages. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and show you what I got. Okay, so here we are with the winner of our vote, and I'm super excited to get started on this project. I think that I've picked out some really nice papers and things to coordinate with the materials I have. Here we have the pink with the dragonflies. I like this color scheme here. I like this. So we're going to use this for the inside. And we're going to use this for the little accent D pieces. So this will be going onto here. And we're going to use this for inside. So I'm going to set this aside. And I'm going to set these guys aside. We're going to start by using some vintage photo and doing a little bit of
inking around the edges on our paper and our fabric sample.
I'll be right back because you guys don't want to see me just doing this. Okay, I am back. So I have Distress inked around all the way around this corner, but not this, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting this paper down, and I will be putting it down so that it goes around the, it will fold down and cover that raw edge, because that raw edge will kind of start to fray. So this way we're going to be covering up that raw edge and making sure that it stays intact. So I'm going to go ahead and glue up my paper. And I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to where I think that until it's approximate. Make sure to stop there, because that'll give me a minute to just to put it down. Usually when you're working with fabric and Fabri-Tac, I usually do smooth this down, but I haven't had a problem with just putting this straight down, because I'm putting it on paper first, and also this textile is really thick, so I haven't had any problems with just putting this down. You are going to want to glue it up really nice and make sure that you get it nice and down there, because you don't want it to be coming up at all when it comes to because you're going to be folding and unfolding and all that kind of stuff on here. So you don't want to have to worry about it coming up. I also really like to sew, of course. I love to sew on this.
Of course, you don't have to sew, but I really like to.
Now then, I'm going to go ahead and fold this over. Trying to be very, very precise. Yeah. And I tried to even out these edges,
and I think it's looking pretty good.
And so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, putting the glue here, making sure to get it all on the edges. Getting it pretty well down. That said, I am going to be sewing, so so as not to use a word too much. Okay. Now I'm going to actually ink around here, right here, because it's so much easier to do that now. I mean, you know what? I'm a dork sometimes. I need to ink around here on this side. Okay, because you're not going to see the other side. Well, usually I would take this and sew it, but I want to do this other part really quick first. And that is taking this piece right here and attaching it to this piece right here. I'm going to do this so that there will be a decorative backing that corresponds with the inner accents that I use on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, first off, I got to take off this little sticky back thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and just glue this down. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my scissors
and just really quickly cut this out.
I'm really not good at making conversation while I am crafting, but I hope everyone is doing well and everyone is safe and happy. It has been a little bit of a hard time. I know that I have had a bit of a hard time. And this little project has actually really helped me to kind of, I've just had a really hard time. Just a really hard time. So now you see, this is what this looks like, and we're gonna go ahead and ink that up. Yeah, I've had just a, well, all of our family has been, for the most part, healthy. Right now my son is not feeling well, and we're trying to find out what's going on. But we have been healthy. We had a little scare kind of at the beginning of the pandemic because my daughter, who's been going to school, found out that somebody that she's been going to school with tested positive for COVID-19. And so we kind of had a little bit of a, you know, kind of a freak out there, and she made sure to quarantine herself, and so that she would not be a, you know, she had no symptoms. She did have one day where she had a temperature, but she is fine. Okay. I do want to kind of distress this a little bit because I want it to kind of match with the patina that I have in here. Now that we've got that, I am going to sew around. So what I'm going to do, and let me put my scissors away, wipe things down. I'm kind of liking this. I'm thinking this is going pretty good. So I'm going to sew around the outside edge of the paper right here. Follow it all the way around. And then I'm going to fold this up. And then I will make the pocket that way. And so then I will sew around this edge and kind of do a little, I'm going to do a zigzag around, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back and show you what that looks like. Okay, I'm back, and this is what I did. I actually did the decorative stitch. I love that stitch. So I hope you can see it. So I stitched around first, and then like just a stitch around on the paper. Then I went ahead and folded and made the pocket, okay? And I stitched the pocket down, and then I did the decorative stitch around, and then stitched the pocket down. So that's how I roll. Now, what we need to do is we need to fold this, and you see here I'm measuring. So we're going to measure about 3 3/4 from here. 3 3/4. That's approximately, we'll go 4. We'll go to 4 because this one is a little bit longer. So let's see. I'm going to kind of eyeballing it here. Cool thing about this is that you can kind of, by doing that, see now what we've got that, so we can go back just a little bit, you know, we can fold it back a little bit. Okay, that gives us a bit of space to kind of maneuver in, because the total size of this is going to be approximately 3.5. So yeah, we're just going to kind of play with that until we get it to where we want it to be. I'm doing a few little folds here. Okay, I'm going to kind of, this is about like that, and then And then we're going to go ahead and fold this over, okay? And we're going to do kind of the same thing. We're going to do a little kind of foldy, give it a little bit of space. And if I, you know, if I wanted to get fancy, I could probably get out my little scoreboard and kind of go to town, but this is good. We're just going to kind of fold it and maneuver it into what we want it to be. Because I think I went, yeah. Yeah, this is good. This is where we're going to be. It's about what we want, is right here. Then you can kind of put this here and get an idea of where we're going to be doing this. Now, I need to be working on putting together the accents so you can see how this is. There's the pocket. Here's where the journal will go, and here's the closure. So we're going to also be putting a pocket here using this, and we're going to kind of figure out what kind of accents we're going to use. I'm thinking, you know, I'm kind of thinking of using some little pieces of torn Levi. Okay, well, I'm gonna be working on connecting some things and doing some little, I've got to look at what I want to use on this cover. So I've kind of set aside these pieces to possibly work on here, just to give it a nice little pop and to really do some fun stuff. But we will see what we're gonna do.
Make sure to join me in the next video to see what accents we're going to use. Thanks for watching. Bye.